Welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be looking at another way to increase the contrast in your RA4 color prints. Before we get started, yes, I cut off all my hair. No, I'm not sick, just wanted to change. So, RA4 printing, when I was learning it back in like the late 90s, early 2000s, you could just get a high contrast and a low contrast paper as well as the normal contrast. Of course, those days are long, long gone. While you can still get those papers on places like eBay, they're not going to give you anything with a usable result. So, in order to change contrast, you've got to do a few different steps. We looked before at reducing contrast by using a sodium sulfite solution added to your developer, and we increased contrast by using a peroxide to your developer, and that would boost the contrast. However, this time we're going to be doing a bleach and redevelopment process. Now, you're going to need some extra chemicals for this, and we're going to go through them as we go. First thing you need to do, however, go ahead and make your print and get the color balance the way that you want. I will say you may have to tweak your color balance a little bit as you do this process because it's going to kind of emphasize any incorrect color. So if you're off a little bit, it'll start pushing that as a major player. So it'll show you if your color balance is right or wrong, okay? The other steps you're going to do. Normally, you just develop the print, then you blix the print, then you wash the print, and that's it. You're done. Dry it, hang it, you're good to go. In this process, we're going to do a lot more. So you're going to need a different fixer, a different bleach. But you're also still going to need your standard blix. You're not going to have two blixes, one blix to end everything, but you will need a separate bleach, separate fix. The best fixer for this is going to be a C41 fix. It's a neutral fixer in terms of pH. It's not acidic, it's not alkaline. You're going to want to just mix that as you normally would for film, then take that, dilute it 1:1 with water, and that is your now working print solution for the bleach and redevelopment. So go ahead and mix some of that up. Get your developer like normal. C41 fixer diluted 1:1 after it's at working strength. Then you're going to need a bleach. I'm going to show what happens if you use a potassium ferrocyanide bleach. That would be your go-to, but I'm not having good results with that, and I'll show you what happens. The other kind of bleach you can use, and it has to be a rehalogenating bleach. It can't be the bleach portion of RA4 Blix. That won't rehalogenate the silver. It needs to become light sensitive again. So the bleach that I found that worked the best was C41 bleach. So I use Kodak Bleach 3, but you can get a fixer and bleach that are separate components from kits like Fuji. Bellini now is shipping to the US, and of course it's in Europe. So if you're in Australia, Asia area, Fuji might be the better option. If you're in Europe and North America, then Bellini would be a good option for you. South America, Fuji's probably still your best bet. So fixer, bleach, both C41. And then you can use the bleach full strength. So we're going to go through all the steps, every step, and I'll put this as text as we're going along. Every chemical step is going to be 2 minutes at room temperature. I'm using drums. You can use open trays. That's perfectly fine. All right, now that we've got all that together, I've already got my print to the correct color balance right here. So it's a foggy morning, some trees, and it's low contrast. Now, I also like this print exactly as it is, but I'm doing this so that you can see how to do it. I don't do the bleach and redevelopment process often. or at all. I mean, I've worked on this the last few days to get it right to present to you, but I don't really use it at all. If I'm shooting in a low contrast scene with color, it's because I probably want the low contrast scene. But your methods are going to vary. You're going to want to change things for your vision, not mine. So this process will help. Okay, so I've got my print ready, done, good to go. Now, let's go through the steps. All right, here's our original, and as you can see, foggy, early morning, and we've got just low contrast, not a lot of dark areas going on in there. But we do have a bright sky, so we've got it separating from the white border. Otherwise, not a lot of vibrance, though certainly I feel good atmosphere. And here are the two prints next to each other. So we have quite a bit more depth in the shadows here, as well as this area. Let me overlap them and see if we can zoom in just a touch. And here we can really see the original versus the new. This did require a slightly different color balance. Not much, just maybe 5 points in the magenta. but it really will show you where your color balance is correct or not. All right, so you can see through here that we got quite a bit more shadow depth. And that's what this is going to do for you. And to show the ferrocyanide bleach, this is one of the better examples. See if you can see this or not. My border is cyan compared to this one. The worst was perhaps this one here. This is the worst example, and we've got staining all through this area, the staining through here and on the bottom, this area here, and the border is just cyan. There's a haze over the whole thing. It's not correctable. It's through the whites, so there won't be any clean whites. And that's the ferrocyanide bleach. Whether or not it can be made to work by making it more dilute, I don't know. I gave up. But the C41 bleach gave me fantastic results. And there you have it. The low contrast original, the higher contrast second print. And they look really, really good. Now, I feel for this particular image, the higher contrast kind of gets rid of that ethereal, foggy look that I wanted when I shot it. But as far as the technique goes, it did exactly what it's supposed to do. You can do the bleach and redeveloper as many times as you like. Just wash the bleach off, redevelop, wash the developer off, re-bleach, redevelop, re-bleach, redevelop, and it'll just build the contrast over and over. So why does this work? Well, when you are developing the print the first time, you are developing the exposed silver. Those combine with the dye couplers in the developer and they form the dye. Then you fix with the C41 fixer. That gets rid of all the unexposed silver in the original. Once you bleach it, you're getting rid of the silver image, but the dye image remains. But that silver image is now a light-sensitive silver again. And since we're doing it in the room lights, it's being re-exposed. When you develop the second time, you are forming more dye clouds, more dye in the image area, because that's the only place that has silver. But then, if you decide you want to get rid of that silver and develop it again, you're forming even more dye in that same area. So you're building contrast because you're just getting more and more dye in the image area every time you redevelop. Then once you're done, you blix. That gets rid of your silver image and fixes it out, and you're left with just the dye image. But by making the silver redevelop over and over, more dye is formed, darker parts of the shadow areas, and there you go. So hopefully that will get you started in the bleach and redevelopment process to increase contrast in your photos. If you like content like this, then help support the channel. You can get t-shirts such as this. They're down in my store. Or you can become a patron. Or if you need some composition viewing frames, you can go to my store and find some there. Prints are also available. Anything helps get this channel going. And we'll see you next time.